Before the 2020 NBA draft happened, this specific draft class was considered to be one of the weakest drafts in a while. Even the guys at the top, like Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball, were said to have major holes in their game. Up to this point, I think that what the scouts said about this draft class is true. There are some potential all-stars, but nobody is exactly setting the world on fire. Usually, every draft has at least one player who comes out the gate looking like an all-star, such as a Luka Doncic or a John Morant. While there is nobody playing like that, there's plenty of guys who are producing for their teams. So in this video, we're going to rank the top 10 rookies in the NBA today. But before we continue, please like the video and subscribe, as it really helps my channel grow. Now let's get started. Before I start the list, I want to give honorable mentions to some rookies that are producing for their teams but just didn't quite make the cut. The first player I'm going to give an honorable mention to is Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony has been averaging a solid 11 points and 3 assists per game for the Orlando Magic, but on a pretty poor 36% field goal percentage. The same efficiency problems that he had at North Carolina has followed him in the NBA, but to his credit, he has shown flashes, including a 21-point game against Charlotte on 8 of 12 shooting from the field and 4 of 5 from 3. Cole will probably continue to be inconsistent as a rookie, but the potential to be a very good player is there. The next honorable mention goes to Deni Avdija. Deni isn't putting up eye-popping stats, as he's only averaging 7 points per game, but he is playing well in the limited minutes he gets. Deni is shooting the ball really well for the Wizards, knocking down 45% of his three-pointers, and he's also been solid as a passer and a defender. Another honorable mention will go out to Saddiq Bey in Detroit. Bey thus far has struggled with his efficiency, only shooting 35% from the field, but his three-point game has been good as advertised, currently shooting 38% from 3 on 4 attempts a game. He's also showed flashes of being a very good defender, so the potential to be a great 3-and-D wing is clearly there. Also, shout out to Devin Vassell, who's been a good 3-and-D player for the Spurs limited minutes, Precious Achiuwa, who's been a nice energy big man off the bench for the Heat, and Isaiah Joe, who's a really good 3-point specialist for the Sixers in limited minutes. Now let's get into the top 10. At number 10, we have Immanuel Quickley. Quickley, who was the 25th pick in last year's draft, has been a steal for the New York Knicks. Currently averaging 11 points and 2 assists per game, he's already become their most impactful bench player. IQ does a really good job of getting into the lane and scoring with his floaters in the paint. His 3-point shooting has also been very good. One area that he has really struggled with is consistency, where one night he'll go for 31 points, but the next night he'll go for just 6. But IQ has overall been good for the Knicks, and truthfully, he should get the start over Elfrid Payton, considering the Knicks desperately need shooting at the point guard position. At number 9, we have Boston's Payton Pritchard. Pritchard is another guy who's been an absolute draft steal. He was taken with the 26th pick, but he's already become an impactful player for the Boston Celtics. Pritchard is averaging 8 points and 2 assists per game, on borderline 50-40-90 splits, shooting 48% from the field, 42% from 3, and 90% for the free throw line. Pritchard is a knockdown outside shooter. He's gotten a lot of open looks thanks to playing next to great scorers like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and he hits them at a high rate. He can also take it to the basket and score pretty well at the rim, and he's a solid playmaker. Pritchard's scoring and playmaking skills were on full display in a 23-point and 8-assist game versus Toronto. Already, Pritchard is a key role player for this Boston Celtics team, and he's showing the potential to be a very good player. At number 8, we have Desmond Bane. Bane, who was the 30th pick, is another draft steal. Bane is a guy who I personally was really high on during the draft because I knew even though he was going to get drafted late, he was going to be a great 3-and-D player for whichever team he ended up on. So far, that has absolutely been the case. Desmond Bane is averaging 8 points per game off the bench, shooting a ridiculous 48% from 3-point range on the season, which is currently the highest 3-point percentage of the entire rookie class. Bane is also a really solid defender. He may lack length with just a 6'4" wingspan, but he makes up for it with a high motor and defensive IQ. Overall, Bane has been a key part of a Grizzlies team that has overachieved without their two best players for most of the season. At number 7, we have Isaac Okoro. Okoro, who was drafted 5th overall by the Cavaliers, has been one of the most impactful rookies of this draft class. The Cavaliers selected Okoro because they really wanted to improve a defense that ranked dead last, and so far, the addition of Okoro has really helped in that regard, as they now rank 8th in defensive efficiency. In just his rookie year, Isaac Okoro is a very good perimeter defender. Thanks to his strength and athleticism, he's able to do a great job hounding opposing ball handlers. He's also a pretty good off-ball defender. On the season, Okoro leads all rookies in steals and deflections. Offensively, he can finish at the basket, but he's really struggling with his outside shot and at the free throw line. Okoro definitely needs to improve his shooting and efficiency, but the potential to be a very good two-way player is clearly there. At number 6, we have Anthony Edwards. It feels pretty weird to be ranking a number 1 overall pick this low, but unfortunately, he's really struggled in his first year. The Timberwolves haven't given Edwards too much responsibility by having him come off the bench. His 13 points per game is good for a rookie, but his efficiency has been awful. On the year, Edwards is shooting just 35% from the field and 30% from 3. This was one of the fears I had for Edwards coming out of the draft. While I agreed he had all-star potential, I also saw a potential J.R. Smith because of Edwards' habit of settling for tough pull-up jumpers instead of getting all the way to the basket. Those fears have come to life in the first 17 games for Minnesota. Now, Edwards is good at creating jumpers for himself off the dribble. The problem is that he tends to rely on it way too much. Edwards has flashed the ability to get to the basket at will and draw fouls. We just need to see it way more. But Edwards has shown recently the potential that made scouts believe he was a future All-Star. Against the Warriors, Edwards scored 25 points or 47% shooting, and that was his 3rd straight game of scoring over 15. Edwards also really needs to improve on defense. For a player with his athleticism and length, you would think he would be a good defender, but his motor on that end of the court is lackluster. Edwards can still be an elite player, but he really needs to improve his defense and efficiency. At number 5, we have Tyrese Maxi. It seems every year Kentucky produces a product that goes a lot later in the draft than they should in hindsight. Maxi was the 21st pick, but he's been giving the Sixers top 10 pick production. On Philly, he's averaging 10 points and 2 assists per game on a solid 46% shooting from the field. Maxi has become a really good spark plug off the Sixers bench. He can get by defenders with ease and finish strong at the rim. He has a really nice layup package, a reliable floater, and a solid mid-range game. Maxi's full offensive repertoire was on full display when he scored 39 points against the Denver Nuggets. Maxi still has areas that he struggles with as a rookie, but he's been instant offense for a really good Sixers team off the bench and an absolute draft steal. At number 4, we have Patrick Williams. When the Bulls selected Williams number 4 overall, most fans were baffled at the pick. 16 games into the season, Williams has proven to be a really good pick for the Chicago Bulls. He's already a very good defender, often guarding the other team's best perimeter player. Offensively, Williams is already a great NBA shooter, knocking down 44% of his threes and 80% from the free throw line. He's also flashed the ability to put the ball on the floor and get all the way to the rack and knock down pull-up jumpers. At this point, Patrick is only scratching the surface of his potential. As long as he keeps developing right, there is no reason he should eventually become one of the top two-way players in the league. At number 3, we have James Wiseman. Wiseman was one of the biggest question marks headed into the draft. He only played 3 games at Memphis, which is a super small sample size. With a year off from playing organized basketball, it was fair to question the learning curve that Wiseman would face in the NBA. Wiseman used that time to work hard on his game, and the hard work has clearly played off as he's been very impressive. On the year, Wiseman is averaging 13 points and 6 boards in just 21 minutes a game. He's flashed much of the potential that had scouts believing he could be the next Chris Bosh. Wiseman can shoot the ball really well for a 7-footer. He's money from mid-range, and he's even flashed good three-point range, shooting 43% from three on the season, albeit on pretty low volume. He also finishes really well inside and does a good job of blocking shots. Of course, there are plenty of areas where Wiseman is still raw. He does have his defensive lapses, he does need to get better as a passer, but the potential to be an all-star in a few years is clearly there. Warriors fans have every reason to be satisfied with their number 2 overall pick. At number 2, we have Tyrese Haliburton. I have to really say, Haliburton has blown away my expectations. I personally viewed him as a safe pick, but a player lacking star upside. I thought he would struggle as a shot creator due to his lack of burst off the dribble, but boy has he proven me wrong. Haliburton has been great for the Kings this year. He's currently averaging 11 points and 5 assists off the bench, but even those numbers don't really do Hallie justice. He's an amazing role player. For one thing, Haliburton's outside shot has definitely translated despite the low release point. Haliburton is shooting a very impressive 46% from 3 on 5 attempts a game. But he isn't just an outside shooter. He can also put the ball on the floor and score with floaters and mid-range pull-ups, and he's a very good playmaker. Haliburton is also a huge asset on the defensive end, where thanks to his elite size at 6'6" with a 7-foot wingspan, he could guard multiple positions. Haliburton was selected 12th overall, but the way he's playing, he should have been taken a lot higher. While Haliburton has been good, the most impressive rookie by far has been LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball, currently averaging 11 points, 6 boards, and 6 assists per game, is the early favorite for the Rookie of the Year award. LaMelo is currently leading all rookies in assists, while being top 3 in both points and rebounds. LaMelo's playmaking has been good as advertised, as he's great at using his ridiculous court vision to set his teammates up for easy baskets. He really gave it to his brother Lonzo, finishing with 12 points, 10 boards, and 9 assists. Just 1 assist shy of a triple-double, while his brother only managed to get 5 points. LaMelo still needs to improve his efficiency, but the potential to be an elite point guard is clearly there. Anyway guys, that's going to be the end of the video. What do you think of my list? How would you have done it differently? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a single upload. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.